Back everyone to TV5 News at 9. This morning we are talking about one documentary by a local family who lives in the Thumb, and they're here with us, joining us this morning. We have the filmmaker David Siev right to my left. David, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Of course.
It's a pleasure.
We have Jacqueline in the middle and Chun at the end. How are you guys?
Be doing really well.
Yeah.
Doing really well,
So
and thank
full
you.
from Turkey yesterday.
I know, right? And I wanted to say thank you for coming after, you know, shoving our faces. So we're talking about the documentary Bad Axe. So David, for those who don't know, can you just tell us a little synopsis of what this film is?
Yeah, so this is it's a very personal film. It's a documentary that I began filming during COVID. I was living in New York with my wife, and on the eve of the pandemic, I moved back home and I began filming my family, and I did not even realize I was making a documentary, but it ended up turning into this very personal American dream story about this Cambodian-Mexican American family trying to keep their restaurant alive, during everything that was happening in 2020.
Yeah, and that was a lot too to handle on everyone, especially our small business owners. Yeah. So it's Rachel's, right? Is the name of the restaurant?
Yep, Rachel's. That's my mom's name, and the restaurant's named after her.
Very good. Yeah. What has it been like for you two to be a part of this experience? I mean, like you said, this was your first film, so I'm sure they weren't comfortable or used to having cameras in their face. So what was that like for you two?
I thought, after we get to traveling all over the country and then experience how the audience feels about the film, and it was overwhelming with the positive, response that we get from the audience, because the film has so much to offer. Yeah. The stories is about love, it's about resilience. It's about courage, and overall that a lot of people can relate it to, because restaurant, right, family, and pandemic. Yeah. So we all been through that during that 2020.
And I will say, I mean, David, we were used to him always walking around with the camera, because that's kind of just what he's always done. Okay. And so you don't really see the camera there, you just see your little brother or your son. The only times, I mean, obviously during the very personal times, those were more difficult, but I think important to show. But also, the only times I think we really got mad at him was when we really needed him to put the camera down to help us spread rice on sushi night, or when we needed help doing the dishes, and he absolutely did. That's how you got like the...
Yeah, so the film has like some time-lapse shots, so those would be the moments I'd be in the back doing dishes.
Okay.
Because we would be like, put that camera down and start rolling like sushi right now.
Right.
So,
you need to pull some weight here.
Yeah.
I had to pull my weight. So.
Why tell this story?
Yeah, I mean, look, I've always wanted to share my family's story, even long before I realized I was making this documentary. Yeah. I mean, I look at my parents, a Cambodian refugee, a Mexican American woman, who decided of all places to settle in Bad Axe, Michigan, raise a family, start a business, and struggle for so many years to turn it into the success it is today. Mm-hmm. That's an American dream story, and like I always wanted to share that. What I didn't realize that in the process of just everything that was going on in 2020, this American dream story I always wanted to share, it was unfolding itself in front of me with new challenges to the American dream, a pandemic, racial reckoning, just everything that was going on in our country. So we were still fighting to keep that American dream alive. But what I hope people take away from this film, why tell it, is our experiences of growing up in Bad Axe and being in this country. It's part of the American experience. It's opening up that dialogue of what it means to be American, and our family's story, what we've gone through, in 2020, that's included in the American experience.
Great explanation. Thank you for that. And the response, you said it's been mostly positive, and Bad Axe is not that large of a town. So what's the recognition been like at home for you guys?
I think everyone still looks at us. We come in the restaurant, we're still running around like chickens with our head cut off. Yeah. Yesterday was Thanksgiving, we were open, but I think that the love and the support that we have felt from our community has meant so much to us. We love Bad Axe. There's no question. Bad Axe is home. My parents have lived there now for moved there 25 years ago. The restaurant's been there for 25 years. I recently moved back, and even though David lives in New York, he always comes back home. And you know, I think that the feeling that love and that support from our community, it's really emotional for us, and it means a lot.
Yeah, I mean, because it's, you know, Bad Axe is, it's imperfect, just like how so many places, you know, in this country are, right?
Right.
But it's an unconditional love that I will forever have in my heart, and, you know, I know my family does as well, too. But, you know, the film, at the end of the day, it's also about family.
Yeah.
And you're seeing, you know, that, sure, I say this is a love letter to Bad Axe, but it's also a love letter to these individuals, my mom, my sisters, you know, just everything that that we've overcome together, you know, just the past couple of years, and also just, you know, growing up in Bad Axe. I mean, they're imperfect as well too, and so that unconditional love.
If you watch the film, you definitely know that. You know, we're definitely, you know, we're human. We have our flaws.
Absolutely.
And you know what? This is the film to remember, because 2020 is what we all been through. You know, as a country, as a small towns like Bad Axe, and we learned so much from this whole film. But the overall welcome, and you know, from the community after the film is shown was unbelievable. It was incredible that you have so many people come into the restaurant, and then we began the conversation. And that conversation, it was so encouraging.
Yeah,
that's great.
People who, you know, you see there's a point in the film where this trailer we put out, it becomes a point of contention in the film.
Yeah.
And now that many of those individuals who, you know, weren't sure how this was going to paint Bad Axe have had the opportunity to see it, it is so incredible that to see this dialogue open up, and for them to see that our family's experience might not be the same as theirs, but that is what Bad Axe is to us.
Yeah.
And that's how change happens, is being able just to have dialogue with one another. So that has been, I think, one of the most rewarding parts about getting this film out there, and especially to the community of Bad Axe, because there is a lot of love from the community. Well,
this has been a great conversation. I appreciate you all coming in this morning. I wish I could ask at least 10 more questions, but we're a little tight on time. Just check out, it's award-winning, got lots of recognition, and make sure you check it out. You can find that information in the hot links section on our website. Thank you guys again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Of course. Have a great weekend.